Majo John Madden from the outskirts of Vega de Alator, which is the bigger town near the little pueblo of El Diamante, with something like 360 people, where I've been for 5 weeks because my car broke down just outside of there, and it's been hard to get it fixed. And it's one of the luckiest things that ever happened to me in my life is that I got stuck in that little pueblo where mostly nothing goes on. And no, I've been saying nobody moves out, but the young people are moving out. Morelli, who I just had, one of the best experiences I've had in my life was attending this 15-year-old girl, Morelli, her quinceañera, if I'm saying it right, 15th birthday party here at this event space last night. 200 people, there were like 40 tables out there, and a cumbia live band that was phenomenal. And just hanging out after the party was mostly over, because it went till 7 in the morning. It had dwindled a lot, but around 4 in the morning I was hanging out here with maybe 10 people, and to watch them laugh and play and sing when the right song would come on Spotify, they would sing along. It was so awesome. I want to comment on what I think is a huge misunderstanding of Mexican culture by Americans. Very wrong interpretation of what goes on between the genders here. There may actually be a phenomenon of machismo, but I have not seen it. I've not seen it. In my 4 months here now, traveling through 3 different cities, and now this tiny pueblo, I've not seen anybody that I would call a macho man. I may have brushed by them or passed them, but the ones I've gotten to know are amazing men. Amazing men. It's parallel to the city middle-class misinterpretation of Appalachian men in the U.S., because we have it that they're rednecks and terrible. And my experience of Appalachian men was that they were soft, sweet, funny, and great guys. I loved Appalachian men, and I love Latino men. I've even coined my own term, because they do feel free to be a man, whereas in the U.S. it's getting less and less safe to be a natural man. It is. All the rules. The uptight, middle-class, and entitled women in the U.S. who have got men on such a short leash where there are so many ways you can get in trouble and be called sexist. Horrible. I think it's one of the most disastrous phenomena. It's right up there with the subjugation of women that happened, honestly, for an awful long time, is that now women are trying to turn the tables in the U.S. Well, it doesn't happen in Mexico. Men feel free to be themselves, and they are sexy and cool and funny and gentle and sweet. So the term I've coined is Mexican cowboy super stud. And I've developed, I am bisexual, although I've never acted on it, but I've had such a crush on so many different Mexican men because they're really hot. So cool. And the women are not soft and subservient. There is actually currently in Mexico a movement, and I just checked this with my friend Alia, who's the mom of the girl who had the party last night, because Alia is a really strong, cool, fun, interesting, beautiful woman. And I asked her, I said, is it wrong to think that women in Mexico are subservient to their men? And she did this, like, yeah, we will punch them right in the nose. And I think that has been true for a long time, maybe forever. I saw a TikTok video made by a Mexican guy where he said, I just made the mistake of having a run-in with a Latina. And he's screaming, somebody just kill me and put me out of my misery, because they can be tough. Not hysterical, not all rigid and frigid and bitchy, no, but they will get their way. The woman cop who, she was not a law enforcement officer, she was a traffic patrol in Tampico, where I had a little fender bender. And she was beautiful and sexy and charming and funny and brilliant, and had a great time with the Latinos on the scene. But with me, she was, you are, and her insurance adjuster was there too, and he came up with $86 is what I owed her for the scrape. Scrape. I didn't put a dent on her bumper, but the scrape, $86. And that woman said to me, I will impound your vehicle. If you don't have the $86, you're going to give her something of equal value. And it ended up I gave her a $130 Bluetooth speaker, a really nice Bluetooth speaker that I was very attached to, and my Texas ID for her to hold on to until I got her the damn $86. And ended up I left Tampico without ever having a chance to do that. I do still have my passport, thank God. But that woman was like, no, I will impound your vehicle unless you do this. So they're tough. They're tough. And I think there is a movement in Mexico now towards the empowerment of women. I think it comes straight from the top, all through the government, that's the cultural leaning right now, is power to the women. And my friend Elia, I've got a photo of her, the t-shirt she's wearing today as they're doing cleanup is Girls Rule. Girls Rule, and I translated as Gobierno de Chicas, the government of the women. And I've been around several exercise classes, all women's exercise classes in several different locations, in Victoria and in Tampico and in the little town of Naranjos, where the women were so fired up and pumped and hooting and hollering and claiming their power. So give it up, U.S. One more time that our cultural hubris, our arrogance, we think we understand what's going on someplace. If you haven't lived there, you don't know. If you haven't lived among Latino people, don't throw around casual judgments of how they relate, because you don't know. And I will take the way the genders relate right now in Mexico any day over the U.S. It's a huge relief. I personally feel more freedom to be a man in my way in Mexico than I did in the U.S. The last many years, you betcha. Okay.